some primal part of him that had awakened the moment Emma had said, "You're our dad. What do you need?" Vanessa asked, shifting immediately into problem-solving mode. Time. Space to figure this out. Alex rubbed his temples. Clear my schedule for tomorrow. Move the Tokyo trip to video conference if possible. And find me the best family lawyer in the city. Not to fight for custody, he added quickly. Just to understand my rights and responsibilities. Consider it done. And Alex, congratulations, I think. After hanging up, Alex leaned his head back against the leather seat. His carefully ordered life had just been upended by two small girls with red ribbons in their hair. The strange thing was, beneath the shock and confusion, he felt something unexpected stirring. A fierce, protective instinct he'd never experienced before. They were his daughters. The thought terrified and exhilarated him in equal measure. His driver glanced in the rearview mirror. "Home, sir?" Alex hesitated. His penthouse suddenly seemed cold and empty, a place for the man he had been this morning, not the father he had become in the space of an hour. "Yes," he said finally. "Home. But make a stop first. I need to pick up some things." The next morning, Alex arrived at Claire's apartment precisely at 1 o'clock, carrying two identical gift bags and a portfolio tucked under his arm. He'd barely slept, spending most of the night researching child development, twins, and father-daughter relationships. By dawn, he drafted 3 different approaches to integrating himself into the girls' lives, complete with timelines and contingency plans. It was how he approached every challenge, with preparation, strategy, and backup options. But as Claire opened the door, her expression guarded, he realized this wasn't a business problem to solve. This was about people, his daughters, their mother, and the complicated emotions between them all. "You came," Claire said, sounding slightly surprised despite their agreement. "I said I would." Alex held up the gift bags. "Is it okay if I brought them something?" Claire hesitated, then nodded, stepping aside to let him in. "They've been talking about you nonstop since they woke up. I've never seen them so excited about anything." The apartment looked different in daylight, warmer, more lived in, with morning sunlight streaming through the windows. A half-finished puzzle dominated the coffee table, and children's books were stacked neatly on a shelf beside classic novels and design references. "The girls are in their room," Claire said. "I'll get them." She paused. "What did you bring?" "Books," Alex said. "I remembered you said Lily likes reading and math, and Emma enjoys art and science. I thought it might be a good starting point." Something softened in Claire's expression. "That's thoughtful. Thank you." As she disappeared down the hallway, Alex took a deep breath. He'd faced board meetings with less anxiety than he felt waiting to spend time with his own children. Moments later, the twins burst into the living room, their faces lighting up when they saw him. They wore matching denim overalls with different colored shirts underneath. Lily in purple, Emma in green. "You came back," Emma exclaimed, as if she'd half expected him to vanish. "I promised I would," Alex said, kneeling to their level. "And I brought you something." He handed each girl the gift bag with her name carefully written on the tag. They looked to Claire, who nodded permission, then eagerly pulled out the tissue paper. Lily gasped as she unwrapped the phantom toll booth and a book of mathematical puzzles. "Mom, look, it's the book you said you were going to get me for my birthday." Emma was equally delighted with her illustrated book on women scientists and a sketchbook with professional-grade colored pencils. "These are the fancy ones they have at the art store. How did you know?" Alex glanced at Claire, who looked as surprised as the girls. "Lucky guess," he said. "I liked similar things when I was your age." "Did you like to draw too?" Emma asked, already opening the sketchbook. "Not exactly, but I like to design things on paper first, then on computers. Like Mom does," Lily said. "She designs websites and logos and stuff." Alex nodded. "Your mom was always creative. That's one of the things I admired about her." Claire's eyes widened slightly at the unexpected compliment. "Girls, why don't you show your—" "Alex, the pictures you drew this morning while I make some coffee." As Claire retreated to the kitchen, The twins eagerly led Alex to the dining table where several drawings were spread out. Each depicted what was clearly meant to be the three of them. Alex, Emma, and Lily, engaged in various activities. At a park, eating ice cream, at what appeared to be a science museum. "This is what we want to do with you," Emma explained, pointing to each picture. "Mom says we have to get to know you slowly, but we already know lots about you." "You do?" Alex asked, genuinely curious. Lily nodded enthusiastically. "You like black coffee with just a little sugar. Your favorite color is blue. You're allergic to cats. You can type really fast without looking at the keyboard. And you're super smart with computers." "Mom told you all that?" Alex was surprised Claire had remembered such details, let alone shared them. "Some of it," Emma said. "And we looked you up on the internet too. You're famous." Alex laughed. "Not famous exactly. Just in the news sometimes because of my company." "What's it like being a billionaire?" Lily asked bluntly. Before Alex could answer, Claire returned with a tray holding coffee for the adults and juice for the girls. "Lily, that's not a polite question." "It's okay," Alex said. "It's a fair question." He considered how to explain wealth to 7-year-olds. "Having money means I can build the things I imagine and help solve big problems. But it doesn't make me any happier than having people I care about." "Do you care about us?" Emma asked, her hazel eyes, his mother's eyes, searching his face. "Yes," Alex said without hesitation. "I know we just met, but I do care about you. Very much. Even though you didn't know about us before?" Lily pressed. Alex felt Claire tense beside him. "I wish I had known about you," he said carefully. "I missed a lot of important things. Your birth, your first steps, your first words. But I'm here now, and I'd like to be part of your lives going forward, if that's okay with you and your mom." The twins looked to Claire, who took a sip of coffee before responding. "We're going to take things one step at a time," she said. "Mr. Harrington, Alex has a very busy life, and we need to figure out how everything fits together." "But he's our dad," Emma insisted. "He should be with us." Claire's expression tightened. "It's more complicated than that, sweetheart." "Why?" Lily asked. "Don't you like him anymore?" The directness of children, Alex thought. No social filters, just straight to the heart of the matter. "Your mom and I haven't seen each other in a long time," Alex intervened, sensing Claire's discomfort. "We need to get to know each other again, just like I need to get to know you too. How about we start with something simple?" Claire suggested, clearly grateful for the redirect. "Alex, would you like to join us for dinner tonight? The girls and I usually make pizza on Fridays." "I'd like that very much," Alex said, surprised by the invitation. "Can we show him our room first?" Emma asked. Claire nodded. "Go ahead. I'll clean up here." As the twins led him down the hallway, chattering excitedly about their toys and books, Alex glanced back at Claire. She stood by the table, watching them go, her expression a complex mixture of worry and resignation. The girls' bedroom was exactly what he would have expected. 2 twin beds with colorful quilts, bookshelves overflowing with children's literature, a small desk with art supplies, and walls decorated with their drawings. What he hadn't expected was the framed photo on their nightstand, a picture of him from years ago, laughing at something off camera. He recognized it as one Claire had taken during their brief time together. "Mom gave us that so we'd know what you look like," Lily explained, following his gaze. "She said you have a nice smile, but you didn't show it enough." Alex picked up the frame, studying his younger self. "Your mom was right about that. Do you have pictures of us now?" Emma asked. "Not yet," Alex admitted. "But I'd like to take some, if that's okay." "We can take a selfie," Lily suggested, bouncing on her toes. "Mom lets us use her phone sometimes for pictures." Before Alex could respond, his own phone rang. He checked the screen, Marcus Reynolds, undoubtedly calling about the rescheduled funding meeting. "I need to take this," he said apologetically. "Business call." The twins' faces fell in perfect synchronization, a sight that twisted something in Alex's chest. "It'll just take a minute," he promised, stepping into the hallway. I'll be right back. He answered the call, keeping his voice low. Marcus, I can't talk long. Alex, the Westlake team is getting antsy. They're talking about taking the deal to Meridian Tech instead. We need to lock this down today. Alex closed his eyes. $200 million. Market expansion. Competitive advantage. All the things that had defined his existence for years. I can't do it today, he said firmly. I'm with my daughters. Look, I get that this is a shock, but you have responsibilities. Yes, I do, Alex interrupted. And right now I'm fulfilling them. Reschedule for Monday. He ended the call and turned to find Claire standing in the hallway, having clearly overheard. You didn't have to do that, she said quietly. I know how important your work is. It is important, Alex acknowledged. But so is this. He gestured toward the girls' room, where Emma and Lily were visible through the doorway, showing something to each other in one of their new books. I've missed 7 years. I don't want to miss any more. Claire studied him, as if trying to reconcile the man before her with the one she'd known. They'll be disappointed if you make promises you can't keep. I know that. Do you? Because these aren't investors or employees, Alex. They're little girls who will have their hearts broken if you drift in and out of their lives whenever it's convenient for your schedule. The accusation stung, but Alex recognized the fear behind it. I'm not going to do that. You say that now, but I mean it, Claire. His voice was quiet but intense. I understand why you left. I was obsessed with building something that would last, something meaningful. I thought that meant my company. Now I realize there are more important legacies. Claire's skepticism was palpable. People don't change overnight. No, Alex agreed. But sometimes they get a wake-up call. He pulled the portfolio from under his arm and handed it to her. This is for you. Legal documents establishing a trust for Emma and Lily's education and future. No strings attached. Whether I'm in their lives or not, they'll be taken care of. Claire took the portfolio but didn't open it. I don't want your money, Alex. It's not for you. It's for them. And it's not negotiable. He softened his tone. I'm not trying to buy my way into their lives. I just want to do right by them, starting now. Before Claire could respond, the twins appeared in the doorway. Are you guys fighting? Emma asked, her forehead creased with worry. No, sweetheart, Claire assured her. We're just having a grown-up conversation. About us, Lily guessed. Yes, Alex admitted. About how much I want to be part of your lives. And can you be? Emma pressed. For real? Alex looked at Claire, silently asking permission. After a long moment, she gave a small nod. Yes, he told the girls. For real. It might take some time to figure everything out, but I'm not going anywhere. The twins exchanged one of their silent communications. Then Emma spoke for both of them. Good. Because we've waited a really long time to meet you, and we have lots of things to show you and tell you. I want to hear and see all of it, Alex promised. Starting with pizza night? Lily asked hopefully. Starting with pizza night, he confirmed. As the girls cheered and began debating toppings, Claire caught Alex's eye. One step at a time, she reminded him quietly. One step at a time, he agreed. But as he watched his daughters, racing back to their room to prepare for the evening ahead, Alex knew with absolute certainty that his life had changed forever. The path forward wouldn't be simple or straightforward, but for the first time in years, he felt like he was moving in the right direction. My queens, have you ever had to choose between your heart and your head? Share your wisdom below. 3 months later, Alex stood in the same elevator where he'd first met his daughters, but this time Emma and Lily were beside him by design, not by surprise. They wore matching blue dresses for the occasion, their hair styled in elaborate braids that Claire had spent an hour perfecting that morning. Are you nervous, Dad? Emma asked, using the title that still sent a thrill through him every time he heard it. A little, Alex admitted. This is a big day. But you talk to your board all the time, Lily pointed out, practical as always. Yes, but I've never introduced them to my daughters before. The past 3 months had been a careful dance of integration, weekend visits, dinner twice a week, school events when his schedule allowed. Alex had rearranged meetings, delegated responsibilities, and even turned down a speaking engagement in Singapore to attend the twins' school play. Claire had watched his efforts with cautious optimism, gradually allowing him more time with the girls as she saw his commitment wasn't wavering. They'd established a rhythm, the 4 of them, not quite a traditional family but something uniquely their own. Today marked a new step. Alex was officially introducing Emma and Lily to his professional world, bringing them to Harrington Tower not as unexpected visitors but as his acknowledged daughters. "Remember what we practiced?" he reminded them as the elevator climbed. "This is a short visit. We'll meet some of the people I work with, see my office, and then head to the museum as planned. And we have to be on our best behavior because it's a place of business," Lily recited. "Exactly. Will Ms. Vanessa be there?" Emma asked. "I liked her when she came to dinner." "Yes, she'll be there." Alex smiled, remembering how his no-nonsense Suo had been completely charmed by the twins when he'd finally introduced them. "She's looking forward to seeing you again." The elevator doors opened on the 52nd floor, executive territory. Alex led the girls past the reception desk, where the assistant did a double-take at the sight of the CEO with 2 small children in tow. "Mr. Harrington, your 11:30 is waiting in the conference room," she said, recovering quickly. "Thank you, Jennifer. These are my daughters, Emma and Lily. Girls, say hello to Ms. Jennifer." "Hello," they chorused politely. Jennifer smiled. "It's very nice to meet you both." As they continued down the hallway, Alex felt a strange sense of worlds colliding. For so long, he'd kept his personal and professional lives entirely separate. Now, with his daughter's small hands in his, those boundaries were dissolving. The conference room door was open, revealing his executive team and several board members gathered around the table. Conversation stopped as they entered, all eyes turning to the unexpected sight of Alexander Harrington with 2 little girls. "Everyone," Alex said, his voice steady despite the flutter of nervousness in his stomach, "I'd like you to meet Emma and Lily Harrington, my daughters." There was a moment of stunned silence before Vanessa rose from her seat, smiling warmly. "Welcome to Harrington Tech, girls. We've heard so much about you." The twins, suddenly shy in the face of so many unfamiliar adults, pressed closer to Alex's sides. "It's okay," he murmured, squeezing their hands reassuringly. "These are the people who help me run the company." Marcus Reynolds, who hadn't seen Alex since the day of the elevator encounter, studied the girls with undisguised curiosity. "The resemblance is remarkable," he observed, "especially around the eyes." "Mom says we have our grandmother's eyes," Emma said, finding her voice. "But Dad's eyebrows." A ripple of surprised laughter moved through the room at her directness. The tension broke, and several executives approached to introduce themselves. Alex watched with pride as his daughters handled the attention with growing confidence, answering questions about school and their interests with poise that belied their 7 years. These remarkable little people were part of him, a legacy more meaningful than any company he could build. "Dad's taking us to the Science Museum after this," Lily informed the group. "There's a special exhibit about space exploration." "Dad," Marcus repeated quietly, sidling up to Alex. "That didn't take long." "Some things just fit," Alex replied, his eyes never leaving the twins as they charmed his board of directors. "The $200 million deal went through, by the way." "I know. I was there when you closed it." Marcus shook his head. "You're different, you know. More, I don't know, grounded." Alex nodded. "Priorities change." "And their mother?" Marcus asked carefully. "Claire, right? How's that situation?" Alex gave him a measured look. "Not a situation. She's the mother of my children and one of the most capable people I've ever known. We're figuring things out." The truth was more complicated. He and Claire had developed a cautious co-parenting relationship, navigating the complexities of their past while focusing on what was best for Emma and Lily. There were moments when they all had dinner together, or when they sat side by side at school events, that Alex could almost imagine them as a family. But Claire kept careful boundaries in place. She was warm, cooperative, even friendly, but maintained an emotional distance that Alex hadn't yet found a way to bridge. "All right, everyone," Alex announced, checking his watch. "We have a museum to get to. Thank you for welcoming Emma and Lily." As they said their goodbyes and headed toward his office to collect his things, Lily tugged on his hand. "Dad, can we see where you work? Your actual desk?" "Of course." He led them into his corner office with its floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Manhattan. The space was minimalist and functional, a large desk, ergonomic chair, conference table, and not much else. "It's kind of empty," Emma observed, looking around with slight disappointment. Alex laughed. "What were you expecting?" "I don't know. Cool computers? Robot assistants? Mom's office has all her designs on the walls and plants everywhere." "Your mom has always been better at making spaces feel like home," Alex admitted. He opened a drawer and pulled out a small frame. "But I do have this." It was a photograph of Emma and Lily from their first weekend together, both laughing as they fed ducks in Central Park. Claire had taken it and sent it to him afterward, the first of many such gestures that had gradually thawed the ice between them. "You keep our picture in your desk?" Lily asked, clearly pleased. "Every day." Alex set the frame on his desk, where it looked strangely out of place among the sleek technology and minimalist design. "Maybe you're right. This office could use some personality. We could draw you some pictures for the walls," Emma suggested eagerly. "I'd like that very much." As they left the building and headed toward the museum, Alex felt his phone vibrate. A text from Claire. "How did it go?" He smiled, typing back, "Great. They charmed everyone. Heading to museum now." 3 dots appeared as she typed her response. "Not surprised. They get that from you." It was a small thing, that acknowledgement of a shared trait, but it warmed him nonetheless. Progress, slow but steady. At the museum, the twins raced ahead to the space exhibit, their excitement contagious. Alex followed, watching as they pressed their faces against the glass of a lunar module display. "Dad, come see this," Emma called, waving him over to an interactive station about gravity. "Dad." The word still amazed him every time. 3 months ago, he'd been Alexander Harrington, tech CEO, focused solely on building his empire. Now he was simply Dad to 2 extraordinary little girls who had turned his world upside down in the best possible way. As he joined them at the exhibit, helping Lily understand the concept of gravitational pull, his phone rang. Claire again. "Everything okay?" he answered, stepping slightly aside while keeping the girls in view. "Yes, just checking in." Her voice sounded different, hesitant. "Listen, I was thinking, my mother's coming to visit next weekend. She's been asking to meet you." Alex raised his eyebrows in surprise. Claire's mother, the girls' grandmother, was an important figure in their lives. But Claire had kept her family separate from their developing co-parenting arrangement until now. "I'd like that," he said carefully. "She's important to the girls," Claire explained, as if justifying the invitation. "And to me." "Claire," Alex said gently, "you don't have to explain. I want to meet her. I want to know everyone who matters to Emma and Lily." Pause. "It's not just that. She wants to understand who you are. For her own peace of mind, I think. Because I'm the man who got her daughter pregnant and then disappeared for 7 years?" The words came out more bitterly than he intended. "Alex, I'm sorry. That wasn't fair." He watched as the twins moved to the next display, their heads bent together in identical poses of concentration. "I'd be protective too in her position. It's more complicated than that." Claire's voice softened. "There are things about my family, about why I left, things I haven't told you." Alex's attention sharpened. "What things?" "Not over the phone. Maybe after dinner on Sunday when the girls are in bed we could talk. Really talk." The invitation hung between them, weighted with possibility. "I'd like that," Alex said finally. "Good." He could hear the relief in her voice. "The girls texted me pictures from your office. They're so proud to be there with you." "I'm the proud one," Alex said honestly. They're incredible, Claire. You did that. We did that, she corrected him quietly. They have your determination, your curiosity, your way of seeing problems as puzzles to solve. Those aren't things I taught them. The acknowledgement that he was part of who they were, even in his absence, touched something deep in Alex's chest. Thank you for saying that. It's just the truth. Claire paused. I should let you get back to them. Have fun at the museum. We will. See you at drop-off time. As he pocketed his phone and rejoined the twins, Alex felt a sense of anticipation about Sunday's conversation. There were still so many unanswered questions between him and Claire, so much unresolved history. Perhaps they were finally ready to face it together. Dad, can we get ice cream after this? Lily asked, slipping her small hand into his. Absolutely, Alex agreed, squeezing her fingers gently. Ice cream is essential after scientific exploration. Emma appeared on his other side, taking his free hand. And can we FaceTime Mom, so she can see the cool space stuff too? If she's not busy with work, sure. Alex smiled down at them. These two little miracles who had found him against all odds. Let's go see the stars together. The weekend arrived with a flurry of activity. Saturday was filled with ballet class, a birthday party for one of the twin school friends, and an impromptu trip to the bookstore when Lily finished her latest novel and declared it an emergency that she find the sequel immediately. By Sunday evening, when Claire's mother was due to arrive, Alex found himself uncharacteristically nervous. He'd faced down tech giants and venture capitalists without breaking a sweat, but the thought of meeting the woman who had helped raise his daughters, who had supported Claire through pregnancy and early motherhood when he should have been there, left him feeling oddly vulnerable. He arrived at Claire's apartment with flowers, roses for her mother, daisies for Claire, and small bouquets of colorful gerberas for each of the twins. Flowers for everyone? Claire asked when she opened the door, her eyebrows raised but a smile playing at her lips. Special occasions call for special gestures, Alex replied, handing her the daisies. You remembered, she said softly, taking the yellow blooms. That these are my favorite. I remember a lot of things, Alex said, their eyes meeting briefly before the moment was broken by the twins racing to greet him. Dad, Grandma's here, Emma announced, pulling him toward the living room. She brought us presents from Connecticut. Claire's mother, Patricia Thompson, stood as he entered. She was a handsome woman in her early 60s, with Claire's warm brown eyes and an air of quiet dignity. She studied Alex carefully, taking his measure in a way that reminded him powerfully of her daughter. Mr. Harrington, she said, extending her hand. I've heard quite a lot about you over the years. Alex, please, he replied, shaking her hand firmly. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Thompson. Thank you for everything you've done for Emma and Lily, and for Claire. Something in his sincere acknowledgement seemed to soften her slightly. Patricia, she offered. And they're my family. It's what we do for family. The emphasis on the word wasn't lost on Alex. The message was clear. These three had been a family long before he entered the picture. Grandma, look what Dad brought us, Lily exclaimed, showing off her flowers. Very thoughtful, Patricia commented, watching Alex interact with the twins. The girls tell me you've been spending quite a bit of time with them. As much as possible, Alex confirmed. They're the most important people in my life now. Patricia's expression remained neutral, but her eyes were sharp. That's quite a change from what Claire described of your priorities before. Mom, Claire interjected from the doorway. Dinner's almost ready. Girls, come help me set the table. As the twins followed their mother to the kitchen, Patricia turned back to Alex. I'm not one to mince words, Mr. Harrington. Alex, he reminded her gently. Alex, she conceded. Those girls are my heart. For 7 years I've watched them grow, helped Claire raise them, listened to them ask questions about their father. Now you're here, and they're absolutely besotted with you. I love them, Alex said simply. More than I thought possible. I believe you do, Patricia surprised him by saying. I can see it in how you look at them. But love isn't always enough. Children need consistency, reliability, presence. I know that. I'm committed to being all those things. Patricia studied him. Claire was 24 when she came home, pregnant and heartbroken. She believed you would resent her, and the babies, for derailing your ambitions. Was she wrong? The directness of the question caught Alex off guard. I don't know, he admitted after a moment. I can't say what I would have done then. I was obsessed with building my company, with proving myself. But I know who I am now, and I would do anything for Emma and Lily. And for Claire, Patricia asked quietly. Before Alex could respond, Claire called them to dinner. The conversation shifted to lighter topics as they ate. The twin school projects, Patricia's garden in Connecticut, a client Claire was particularly excited to be working with. Alex watched the easy interaction between Claire, her mother, and the girls, the shorthand of inside jokes, the gentle teasing, the unconscious physical affection. This was what family looked like. This was what he had missed, what he wanted to be part of. After dinner, when the twins had been tucked into bed with stories and kisses, the three adults settled in the living room with coffee. The atmosphere had shifted, grown more serious. Claire tells me you two have some things to discuss, Patricia said, setting down her cup. I think I'll turn in early. It's been a long day. She rose, squeezing her daughter's shoulder as she passed. Good night, dear. Alex. Once they were alone, silence stretched between them. Claire curled into the corner of the sofa, cradling her coffee cup like a shield. Your mother is formidable, Alex said finally. In the best way. Claire smiled faintly. She had to be. She raised me alone after my father left. I didn't know that. There's a lot you don't know, Alex. Claire set her cup down, meeting his eyes directly. That's what I wanted to talk about tonight. Alex leaned forward, giving her his full attention. I'm listening. Claire took a deep breath. When I found out I was pregnant, I was terrified. Not just of being a single mother, or of disrupting your life, but of something much deeper. She paused, gathering her thoughts. My father was brilliant, a software engineer before it was cool. He had big dreams, revolutionary ideas. My mother supported him completely, put her own ambitions on hold to help him chase his vision. Alex felt a chill of recognition. Like me. Similar, Claire acknowledged. When I was 8, he got an offer from a tech company in California, his big break. But it meant uprooting our family, leaving my mother's support system. She was willing to do it for him. 2 weeks before we were supposed to move, he announced he was going alone. That we would hold him back. That he needed to focus completely on his work. Claire, Alex said softly, beginning to understand. He chose his ambition over us, Claire continued, her voice steady despite the pain evident in her eyes. And I watched what it did to my mother, how she blamed herself, how she wondered if she and I weren't enough to make him stay. It took her years to rebuild herself. So when you found out about the twins, I saw history repeating itself. You talked about your company the way my father talked about his work, with single-minded devotion. I couldn't bear the thought of my children growing up feeling like they were competing with an algorithm for their father's attention. Or worse, watching you resent them for complicating your path. I wouldn't have, Alex began, then stopped himself. I don't know what I would have done, he admitted. But I wish you'd given me the chance to choose. I was protecting them, Claire said. And maybe myself too. I couldn't face being another woman who wasn't enough to make a brilliant man stay. The raw honesty of her confession hung in the air between them. Alex moved to sit beside her on the sofa, close but not touching. Thank you for telling me, he said quietly. For helping me understand. Claire nodded, blinking back unexpected tears. I've been so afraid of letting you into our lives, of disrupting the stability we've built. But watching you with the girls these past months. You're not my father, Alex. You're showing up. You're putting them first. They make it easy, Alex said. They're extraordinary. Yes, they are. Claire smiled through her tears. And they adore you. What about you? Alex asked, the question he'd been holding back for months finally finding voice. Where do you fit in all this, Claire? We talk about co-parenting, about arrangements for the girls, but never about us. Claire looked away. There is no us, Alex. There never really was. We had a connection, yes, but we could have been something, Alex interrupted gently. If you'd stayed. If I'd found you. Maybe, Claire conceded. Or maybe we would have crashed and burned, leaving two little girls in the wreckage. And now, Alex reached out, tentatively covering her hand with his. We're different people than we were 8 years ago. I'm not that obsessed startup founder anymore. You're not that barista with dreams of your own business. No, Claire agreed, looking down at their hands. Now I'm a mother first. Everything else comes second. As it should be, Alex said. The girls will always come first, for both of us. But that doesn't mean there can't be something else too. Something just for us. Claire finally met his eyes. Are you saying what I think you're saying? I'm saying I'd like a chance, Claire. Not to pick up where we left off, we're way past that. But to start something new, something better. To see if there's still that connection between us, outside of being Emma and Lily's parents. And if there isn't, Claire asked softly, then we'll be the best co-parents those girls could ask for, Alex promised. Claire was quiet for a long moment, her eyes searching his. I've spent 7 years building walls to protect myself and the girls, she finally said. It's not easy to let them down. I'm not asking you to tear them all down at once, Alex said. Just, maybe a small door? We could start with dinner. Just the two of us. A smile tugged at the corner of her mouth. Are you asking me on a date, Alexander Harrington? Yes, he said simply. I am. Claire took a deep breath. Okay. Okay, Alex repeated, surprised by her quick agreement. One dinner, she clarified. No promises beyond that. I'll take it. Alex smiled, feeling lighter than he had in years. Friday night. Claire nodded, then gently withdrew her hand from his. It's getting late. You should probably go. As Alex gathered his coat and prepared to leave, Claire walked him to the door. In the hallway, away from the sleeping twins, she paused. Alex, she said quietly, thank you for not hating me, for what I did. I could never hate you, Claire. You gave me the two most precious gifts in the world. He hesitated, then added, even if I had to wait a while to receive them. She smiled at that, a real smile that reached her eyes. Good night, Alex. Good night, Claire. As the door closed behind him, Alex stood in the hallway for a moment, processing everything that had happened. The revelations about Claire's father, her fears, the possibility of something new between them. It was a lot to take in. His phone buzzed with a text from Vanessa about an early meeting the next day. Once, that would have sent him straight back to the office to prepare. Now, he simply replied that he'd be there, then put the phone away. Some priorities had become very clear. 1 year later, Alex stood in that same elevator where it had all begun. This time he wasn't alone. Emma and Lily flanked him, dressed in matching blue dresses for the special occasion, and Claire stood beside him, her hand lightly touching his. Nervous? She asked quietly. A little, he admitted. It's a big day. The biggest, Emma agreed solemnly. But a good one, Lily added, practical as always. The elevator climbed past the 28th floor, where two determined little girls had once stepped in and changed his life forever, continuing upward to the rooftop garden where guests were already gathering. I still can't believe we're doing this, Claire murmured, adjusting the simple white dress she wore. Having second thoughts? Alex asked, only half joking. She smiled up at him, the same smile that had first caught his attention across a coffee counter years ago. Not a single one. The past year had been a journey of rediscovery and new beginnings. That first dinner date had led to another and another. Slowly, carefully, they had built something new between them, not recapturing what they'd briefly had before, but creating something stronger, more honest, more equal. 6 months ago, on a family trip to Connecticut to visit Patricia, Alex had proposed, not with grand gestures or public displays, but quietly, privately, with the twins as willing conspirators who had helped him pick the ring. Now, As the elevator doors opened to reveal the rooftop transformed with flowers and twinkling lights, their closest friends and family waiting, Alex felt a sense of completion he'd never known before. "Ready?" he asked, looking at the three people who had become his world. "Ready," they answered in unison. As they stepped out together, Alex thought about that day in the elevator. How two little girls with red ribbons in their hair had looked up at him and said 6 words that changed everything. "You're our dad. We found you." They had found him, indeed. And in finding him, they had helped him find himself. The man he was meant to be, the father they deserved, the partner Claire could trust with her heart again. The ceremony was simple and intimate. Emma and Lily, as flower girls and ring bearers combined, took their roles with utmost seriousness. Patricia, who had gradually warmed to Alex over the months, dabbed at her eyes as Claire and Alex exchanged vows. "I promise to choose you and our family every day," Alex said, his voice steady as he slipped the ring onto Claire's finger. "To build our future together, not just my vision alone." "I promise to trust in us," Claire responded, her eyes shining. "To face challenges together instead of running from them. To believe in second chances." As they sealed their promises with a kiss, cheers erupted from their gathered loved ones. Emma and Lily rushed forward to embrace them both, creating a family circle that felt like the most natural thing in the world. Later, as they danced under the stars, Claire rested her head against Alex's shoulder. "Did you ever imagine this?" she asked. "That day in the elevator, when 2 little girls claimed you as their father?" Alex smiled, remembering his shock, the immediate rearrangement of everything he thought mattered. "Never in a million years," he admitted. "But now I can't imagine any other path." Across the rooftop, Emma and Lily twirled in their blue dresses, laughing with their grandmother. They had orchestrated this reunion in their innocent, determined way, crossing a city alone because they believed in the connection that should exist between them and their father. "They're extraordinary," Claire murmured, following his gaze. "Like their mother," Alex replied, pressing a kiss to her temple. As the night deepened and the celebration continued around them, Alex reflected on the journey that had brought them here. From a chance meeting in a coffee shop, to an unexpected reunion in an elevator, to this moment of promise and new beginnings. Life rarely followed a straight path. Sometimes it took detours, wrong turns, years of separation. But sometimes, if you were very lucky, those winding roads led exactly where you were meant to be all along. "I love you," he whispered to Claire as they swayed to the music. "All 3 of you, more than anything." She smiled up at him. The walls that had once protected her heart now transformed into the foundation of something stronger. "We love you too. Always have, always will." In that moment, surrounded by the family he never knew he needed, Alexander Harrington, billionaire CEO, technological innovator, and most importantly, father and husband, was finally completely home. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more timeless love tales with Mr. Harrison.